Hey, day 18, episode 18. Um, Today, want to talk about something that is important that I feel, especially in communication. And it's I think that everybody should realize, right? You should never assume that other people understand you. And this is quite broad in many contexts because you see, we all live very different lives, okay, religiously, culturally, the way we are brought up, the family that we are born into, the trauma, the tragedies that we all experience, right? So everybody will have their version of life, and everybody will value different things. And therefore, when we communicate, sometimes you must realize is that just because both person are speaking maybe the same language, English per se, don't assume that everybody value things the way you may or they may do. I think the word I learned the other day is called Kayla or something like that. I need to check it up again. But basically, it's the concept of this. When you say I love you, okay? When you say I love you, your depth of love and their depth of love may actually vary, okay, because it's one of those very subjective emotions. While both person understand what the meaning means, the depth of what it is, right, might vary between two person. And you must realize is that even this can go as to as simple as something like, oh, I feel cold. When you say cold, how cold is cold? Okay, someone in Southeast Asia, like for us, cold is actually maybe aircon cold. But someone who lives in a four season country, when they speak about cold, they're thinking about like maybe frostbite and all that sort of things. So you must understand is like sometimes, right, the best thing is to, yes, understand, but also try to dig in deeper to get the context if possible. So that's why it's very important that we not assume that everybody understand you or is using the same language for the value. This is actually very hard, and I think that that's why it's one of those things that I feel that online or messaging, right, through WhatsApp or whatever, it's just text is just not going to do you the justice. Just the other day that we had a very misunderstanding with the community who, when we spoke about AI and they speak about AI, right, we are actually referring to very, very different contexts of things. And obviously also one thing is that the depth of feeling of how we feel is very different. And I feel that when we speak about emotional things, subjects, right, you must realize is that not everybody understand the depth that you are referring to and the emotions and context that you put in. So it's very important that not only do you need to sit down, you need to sit down and speak about it, but you also want to really get that sitting down to gauge the feeling of what the other person is trying to portray, what vibe they're giving out, or how important this thing really is to him or her and not important to him or her. Because you might realize maybe there's something that you keep very important, but to the other side is that it's not important, and it can work the other way around as well. So the first thing is understand is that communication is actually not easy. Communication is just not simple. And I think that that's why it's very important that let us not assume what the other person is feeling or saying. I like one of my old colleagues who used to say, when the word assume is, when you assume, you make an ass of you and me. Assume. Okay, so maybe you can spell it out and you can see what I'm trying to tell you. But yeah, let us not assume, because when we assume, we can actually misunderstand, miscommunicate from both sides. You will make it very awkward for two parties when the subject is being assumed. Okay, so yeah, I hope this one could be a bit deep, I don't know, but like try to understand the context is that just don't assume what you say or what people say is probably the same thing. And even when you sit down and talk about it, you must realize also that the depth of the emotion and the feeling, or even the intensity of what you're talking about, right, may vary even though you're speaking the same language. So this is one of those things I feel that face to face just does so much better. But even that also, it can be very challenging to really grasp the concept of what the other person is trying to tell you. So hope this one helps. Take time to reflect on this, think back about it, and hope to see you guys tomorrow. Bye.